Being gone is the best thing for this family. Those words pierced me harder than the fever burning through my body. My stepmother stood tall in the doorway, arms folded, her face twisted with triumph. I was curled up on the floor, shaking with chills, begging for help. But she didn't flinch. My father had already emptied my account, taking every dollar I had worked for. And now, with my body trembling from a fever that felt like it was boiling my blood, I was left outside to freeze in the car. I thought that was the end. But then came the knock. My grandfather's knock. That knock didn't just save me from death. It gave me a reason to live. And it gave me a reason to fight back. This is my story. The story of betrayal, survival, and the revenge that became the fire in my veins. I used to believe my family was unbreakable. My mother, Grace, was the heart of our home. She filled every corner with warmth, laughter, and love. She was the type of woman who could silence a storm with her smile. And then, just like that, she was gone. I was 15 when she collapsed at the breakfast table. A brain aneurysm. She never even had the chance to say goodbye. One minute she was humming as she buttered toast, the next, her body was lifeless on the kitchen floor. My father and I were shattered. I thought grief would pull us closer, that we'd cling to each other through the darkness. But instead, he drifted away. Within a year, Margaret appeared. She was glamorous, dripping in jewels and perfume, a woman who thrived on attention. To my father, she was salvation. To outsiders, she was elegance. To me, she was poison. The first time she looked at me, I saw it, that flicker of disdain. I wasn't her daughter. I was an obstacle. At first, I forced myself to accept her. I hoped she would soften over time. But her cruelty only sharpened. When Dad was around, she smiled sweetly. When he wasn't, she cut me down with words sharp enough to bleed me dry. You're pathetic. You'll never amount to anything. Your father regrets being stuck with you. I endured. I focused on my studies, worked part-time jobs, and saved money. I told myself one day I'd leave, and their venom would no longer reach me. But Margaret wasn't satisfied with making me feel small. She wanted me erased. By the time I turned 19, I had built a modest savings account from my bookstore job. It was my safety net, my escape plan. One afternoon, I went to the bank to withdraw a small amount. The teller frowned. Your account is empty. I blinked. That's impossible. Please check again. She turned the screen toward me. Withdrawal slips. My father's signature. Every cent gone. When I confronted him, his face was hard. I needed the money. You live under my roof. What's mine is mine. My heart stopped. Dad, that was my money. I worked for that. From the shadows, Margaret smirked. Don't be ungrateful. Your father takes care of you. That money was better used for this family. This family. I realized then, I wasn't part of it. Not anymore. The breaking point came during winter. I woke one evening drenched in sweat, my body aching, my temperature soaring. I staggered to the kitchen, begging for help, but Margaret blocked the doorway. You're not sick, she sneered. You're lazy. You want pity. Tears blurred my vision. Please. I can't breathe properly, just call Dad. Her lips twisted. Your father and I agree. Being gone is the best thing for this family. I collapsed in the hall. Dad walked past me, eyes cold, as though I was invisible. So I dragged myself outside. I crawled into my car with a thin blanket, shivering as the fever scorched me. The night air bit into my skin. Every breath rattled in my chest. I thought I would die there. Alone. Forgotten. Then, knock. Knock. Through the fogged glass, I saw him, Grandpa Henry. My mother's father. His eyes widened in horror. He wrenched open the door, pulled me into his arms, and wrapped me in his coat. His voice shook. My poor girl, what have they done to you? I broke down, sobbing against his chest. He drove me to his farmhouse, where he nursed me all night. He fed me broth, placed cool cloths on my forehead, whispered prayers like shields around me. And in the quiet of his home, as my fever began to break, I found something I hadn't felt in years. Love. Safety. Belonging. But beneath the relief was fire. A fire that burned hotter than the fever. They wanted me gone. They wanted me erased. But I was alive. And I would make them pay. Over the next weeks, Grandpa cared for me while I regained my strength. I told him everything, the drained account, the sneers, the betrayal. His jaw clenched tighter with each word. You're not going back there, he said firmly. But my things. You have everything you need here. And one day, you'll have more than they could ever imagine. That day came sooner than I thought. While Margaret and my father lived in luxury, Grandpa still kept the business records from the company my mother once co-owned with Dad. In those papers, we discovered inconsistencies, shady transfers, hidden debts, falsified reports. My father's empire was a facade. Margaret had been helping him cover it up. Grandpa looked at me. If you want revenge, here's your chance. Step 1 was information. I began working quietly, digging into every document, every email, every record I could access through Grandpa's old connections. What I uncovered was staggering. Shell accounts in Margaret's name. Illegal transfers through Dad's company. Bribes paid to silence employees. Step 2 was allies. I reconnected with an old family friend, Daniel, now a journalist. I showed him the files. His eyes widened. This is enough to destroy them. Step 3 was patience. We built the case slowly, ensuring every detail was airtight. All the while, I kept silent, knowing Margaret and Dad believed I was gone, erased, just like they wanted. But I wasn't gone. I was waiting. It started small. A rumor here, a leak there. Whispers of fraud began circling in Dad's company. Investors grew nervous. Margaret spent more time on the phone, snapping at lawyers. Then, the story broke. Front page. My father's face plastered across headlines, local businessman under investigation for fraud. I watched the news from Grandpa's couch, my hands steady, my heart thundering with satisfaction. Within weeks, lawsuits piled up. Accounts were frozen. The mansion was put up for sale. And Margaret? She cracked. One evening, I walked into the mansion unannounced. The look on their faces when they saw me was priceless. My father's jaw dropped. Margaret's eyes widened in horror. You, she spat. You were supposed to be gone. I stepped forward, calm and cold. You tried to erase me. But I'm still here. And now, everyone knows what you really are. My father's voice shook. You betrayed me. I laughed bitterly. No, Dad. You betrayed me the day you emptied my account and left me to die in the cold. Margaret lunged toward me, but I stopped her with words sharper than knives. Everything you built was on lies. And now, it's gone. Just like you wanted me gone. They had nothing left. No money. No reputation. No power. And I walked out with my head held high. In the months that followed, the company collapsed. My father faced charges. Margaret vanished, chased by creditors and shame. I stayed with Grandpa, helping him restore the old farmhouse. For the first time in years, I felt free. But revenge wasn't just about their downfall. It was about reclaiming myself. About rising from the ashes they tried to bury me in. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear Margaret's voice sneering, "Being gone is the best thing for this family." And I smile. Because she was wrong. I wasn't gone. I was stronger than ever. And I made sure they would never forget it. The end.